Hello, my name's Steve Holloway. I'm a local painting contractor from Bakersfield, California. And today we're going to repaint an old fence with a couple of gates. And we're going to start with all the preparation and all the tools you're going to need. And there's quite a bit of tools you're going to need, and I've got them right here sitting on the fence. First of all, we're going to use this crescent wrench to take apart the hinge from the gate. The hinge is going to stay black, and the woodwork on the fence and the gate is going to stay white. Most important tool is the scraper, and the scraper has to have a sharp edge. We use a file. We basically file one way. We keep the edge sharp. That way when we're scraping on the wood, we go with the grain, we get all the loose paint off, and then we're ready to proceed to the next step. We always have a screwdriver with a Phillips end or a standard end for screws and whatnot. An X-Acto knife helps cut the tape. It helps with masking, and it's a good tool to have. The wire brush is very important. It's got one little tool on the end of the wire brush for scraping. Then the wire brush, if you go with the grain of the wood, it will get a nice finish. It will help remove all of the loose paint. Masking tape's always good to have. You want a good masking tape. You want a tape that sticks, adheres. This is a putty knife. Every good painter has to have a putty knife. It helps with a lot of different things. You can open up the paint can with this putty knife. You can scrape, you can fill, you can scrape away spider webs. You can get wet paint off of a surface that you don't want the wet paint on immediately. Just put a wet rag around it, get the wet paint off, done. This is a duster. Very important to dust your surface before you apply your primer. Here's a nice bucket full of paint. I've got a roller that's going to work really well on this fence project. It's not a very big roller. It's one of the smallest rollers they make, but it has a really good cover to it, and it holds paint well. The bucket of primer has a little grid. That way when I roll the paint onto the when I grab the paint out of the bucket on the roller, I can get rid of excess. I always keep my paintbrush in the paint. That way I don't have anything that's going to dry, and it keeps my brush fresh and ready to go. I'm going to place this tarp underneath the fence, underneath the gate. That way all the chips that I scrape off of the fence will fall onto the tarp. If they don't fall onto the tarp, I can broom them or rake them up into a little pile. I can also use a vacuum and vacuum the chips off of the ground. That keeps everything contained, clean, and neat.